Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Myself Dr. Shahab welcomes you to the chemistry lecture 10th standard. In this lecture we will see the various trends. So what is the trends in modern periodic table? Trends are basically the certain properties that are exhibited by the elements, and that properties whether they are increasing or decreasing. Okay, these properties of these elements whether they are increasing along the periods or decreasing along the periods means from left to right and from right to left, from top to bottom or bottom to top, from left to right, these properties used to change. We will see in our this topic only valency, atomic size, metallic and non-metallic characters. So we will see valency, atomic size, metallic and non-metallic character. The first one is valency. So for that reason I move to the our textbook. So what is a valency? Valency is basically valency of element is the ability to combine with other element. It is determined by the number of electrons in the outermost shell of each atom of the element. Valency of element is the ability to combine with the other elements, and it is determined by the number of electron in outermost shell and each atom of the element. So basically what is valency? Valency is what? It is a that we have learned in our previous classes. Okay, now let me try to explain you this concept. So let me explain the valency. So what is basically valency is, suppose this is an atom. Okay, so for that reason I am trying to explain each and everything, so everybody should listen it carefully. So this is an atom, and for example this atom is of sodium. Okay, this is its first shell, this is second shell, and this is a third shell. And you know that sodium has 2 electron in first shell, 8 electron in second shell, and 1 electron in last shell. Different terms will come in this lecture and you have to remember that terms. Okay, number 1 is the this last shell is called as valence shell. It is called as valence shell. And the electron, the valence shell contain this electron. Over here is one electron, is called as valence electron. It is called as valence electron. So here only one valence electron is present. The shell next to valence shell is called as penultimate shell. What it is called as? Penultimate shell. And the shell that is next to penultimate shell is called as anti penultimate shell. It is called as anti penultimate shell. Okay, so what is valence shell? Basically the shell, the last shell of an electron is called as valence shell. The electron containing in valence shell is called as valence electron, and the next shell that is beneath the valence shell is called as penultimate shell, and the next shell that is very close to the uh, atom's nucleus is called as antipenultimate shell. The electron containing in valence shell is called as valence electron. So in case of sodium, valence electron is 1. Valence electron is 1. So sodium is having only one valence electron. So is it clear? Same is the case with the, we will see a different case. Okay, so everybody should understand what is valence shell. Valence shell is the last shell of the atom, and the electron contained in valence shell is called as valence electron, from where we will decide valency. From valence electron we will decide its valency. So sodium, basically there is a one law over here, that is law of octet. What it means? Every metal or every element try to complete the law of octet. What this law says? This law says the electron elements try to make its last shell stable by getting themselves in a standard noble gas configuration. What is this noble gas configuration? Noble gas configuration is that in their last shell is having 8 electrons, or they are stable. So in order to get last shell to complete its octet, sodium has to donate one electron to somebody else. So he sodium used its valence shell to donate the electron. So one electron from valence shell goes to some other element, and it get converted into Na plus. What is this Na plus? Na plus is cation. So sodium become a cation and it donate one electron. So valency of sodium is 1. So it is donating the one electron and it get positive charge, and the valency of sodium is 1. The number of electron an atom or element share with the other elements or donate with the other elements and accept from other elements is called as its valency. Okay, so here valence shell is last shell and it contains the valence electron. This valence electron is used to determine the valency. The valency of sodium is 1. We will see another example, that is the example of chlorine. So basically this is chlorine, and it is its first shell it is having 2 electron, its second shell it is having 8 electron, and its last shell is having 7 electron. So in order to complete its octet, chlorine needs 1 electron, and this 1 electron it is getting from sodium. And now after accepting this 1 electron, its octet become complete and it becomes 8. So now Cl becomes Cl minus, so it becomes anion. It becomes anion, and sodium becomes that sodium which donate 1 electron. Chlorine accept 1 electron and its valency is 1 because it is accepting 1 electron. Okay, and sodium is donating 1 electron to chlorine, so its valency is 1, and sodium is cation by donating the electron. So in order to become a cation, an element has to donate 1 electron. In order to become one anion, the element has to accept 1 electron. So that concept is clear. So valency of element is determined by the number of element present in their outermost shell. So we will come to our main topic, that is what valency. Okay, so what is the valency of carbon? So what is the valency of carbon? Carbon is C6. What is the atomic number? 6. So we have to write its valency 2 and 4. So carbon carbon's valency is 4. Why it is valency is 4? Either carbon will accept 4 electron from different atom, okay, and different atom, and form its new valency, that is 2 plus 4 plus 4 is equals to 8. So carbon's octet is complete. Let me draw like this, okay. So carbon is 6 electron it is having, that is 2 and 4. So its first shell, carbon is first shell is having 2 electron, last shell is having 4 electron. So its valence electron is 4 electron. 4 electron is valence electron. So in order to become complete its octet, either carbon will accept electron from somebody, or it will give away this 4 electron to somebody, okay. In both cases carbon's valency will be 4. We will come to the next example. That example is of oxygen. Oxygen's number is, atomic number is 8. So what is its electronic configuration? 2 and 6, correct. So oxygen, that is O, and its first shell is having 2 electron, and its last shell is having 6 electron, 6 electron. Oxygen is having 2 electron. Oxygen is 2 electron in first shell, 6 electron in last shell. So valence electron is present. How many valence electron is present? 6 valence electron present. In order to complete its octet, it needs how many electrons? 2 electrons. So oxygen will accept 2 electrons from somebody else, and its octet is complete. So how many electron it is accepting? 2 electrons. So its valency is 2, okay. So oxygen's valency will be 2. So either they are donating the electron, or either they are accepting the electron. In both cases this is the valency. So what is the case in our scenario? In periodic table, basically if you see along the period from, oh my god, just wait a minute. In periodic table, if we see a trend from left to right, from left side to right side, and from above downward, from top to bottom, or it is also called as along the period, and from top to bottom in group, it is also called as this. So what happened to the valency? If you recollect in periods and electronic configuration, we have seen the second period. In second period, what we have seen, that in each period, in each group along the period, one electron is added at a time in a same shell. Means what? Same shell, in a one electron is added in same shell. So its valency is increasing or decreasing? So along the period, valency is increasing for some time, and it is decreasing. Along the period, valency is first it is increasing, then it is decreasing, okay. What about valency in groups? So valency in groups remains same. So for example, hydrogen, below, this is the group 1, it is having a 1 valence electron. Second one is lithium. Lithium electronic configuration 2 and 1, so it is also having a 1 electron. Then next, sodium. Sodium, its electronic configuration 2, 8 and 1. So from above downward, from top to bottom, valency remains same. What we say? In groups, valency remain same. Okay, this concept is clear. Now the next concept we will see is atomic size. What is atomic size basically? Atomic size. What is the atomic size? See, this is the nucleus of an atom. Okay, and you need to understand one concept over here is that electron cloud. What is this electron cloud? Electron cloud is the electrons, they are rotating around they are rotating around the nucleus, and they form a cloud over here. And this cloud, now this is electron cloud, and this is the last electron. Okay, the distance from center of an atom to the last electron is called as atomic radius. The distance between center of an atom to the last electron is called as atomic radius. It's called as atomic radius. So it is basically the, if we draw a circle, and from here this distance is called as radius. So atomic radius is what? The distance between center of an atom to the outermost electron is called as atomic radius. So usually atomic radius is expressed in a picometer, pm. That is what is, which is smaller than nanometer. 1 pm is equals to 1 pm is equals to 10 raised to minus 12 minus 12 nanometer. Okay, so in our book various atomic radiuses are given. So atomic radius, atomic radius of oxygen is 66, atomic radius of boron is 88, atomic radius of carbon is 77, atomic radius of nitrogen is 74. If I ask which of these four is the biggest one, the answer is boron. Why? Its atomic radius is 88. Means this is a boron, means this is a boron. From center of boron to the periphery, the distance is 88 picometer. Okay, 88 picometer. And same is the case with the oxygen. The distance between center and periphery of oxygen is 66 picometer. So 66 picometer. Okay, so what is the why we are learning this, the atomic radius, atomic size? The concept is over here is that along the period the size of an atom is decreases. Now try to understand this concept. Along the period size of an atom is decreases. If we try to concentrate on the second period, basically what we have told, and what we have learned that the lithium is having electronic configuration 2 and 1, barium is having electronic configuration 2 and 2, and next one is the boron and having electronic configuration 2 and 3. Next one is carbon is having electronic configuration 2 and 4. Next is nitrogen is having electronic configuration of 2 and 5. If you analyze this situation over here is that there is two shells along the period, each and every element is having two shells. Okay, in the last shell one electron is added each time. If you move from left to right, one electron is added, so the number of electron goes on increasing. Okay, now what is the catch over here is, now try to understand the very important concept over here. So What it means? Lithium is having 2 and 1 configuration means what? Lithium is having 2 and 2 plus 1 is equals to what? 3 protons, 3 positive charge, okay, and 3 new 3 neutrons, that neutron is having no charge, and the last is 3 electron. So electron is having negative charge, proton is having positive charge. So if the shell of an atom lithium, so this is lithium, it is having 2 electrons over here and 1 electron over here, okay. So to exert the pressure, to exert a force of attraction between nucleus and this electron, so basically now listen this. Nucleus of this lithium is having protons. Proton is having positive charge, and electrons that are rotating in the shells that are having negative charge. This positive charge from the nucleus attracts the negative electrons towards the nucleus and bind them with its force, that is called as nuclear force of attraction. And that nuclear force of attraction usually attract and hold the electrons in their orbits. And this nuclear force of attraction in case of lithium is 3 plus, okay. Now the distance which is applying is this much. Now next, barium. Barium is having 2 electrons in the first shell and 2 electrons in the second shell. Now the 4 protons is attracting the 4 electrons, out of which 2 electrons are near the atom and the 2 electrons are far. So these 4 plus charge usually pull the last valence electron towards their size, towards their nucleus. So what happened due to this reason? Now we will see. Due to this reason, now see this. This is lithium. Lithium is having 2 electron over here and 1 electron over here. The lithium is having 2 shells. Now next is barium. Barium is having 2 electron over here. No, not an issue. 2 electron in the next shell, okay. Now next is boron. Boron is having 2 electron over here and and 3 electron over here. Now listen, now carefully observe. I draw lithium bigger, barium somewhat smaller, and boron a little bit smaller. Why is it so? Because in lithium only 3 plus charge from the nucleus attract these electron and try to attract this electron, and they are not exerting that much force. That much force is exerted by barium. Why barium? Barium is having 2 electrons and it has to exert its force on both shell. So in barium, last shell is having